Hello, today I've got one of the YAMAHA Reface keyboards. Now there's four of these to choose from, and this is the organ version. This is the YAMAHA YC. The YAMAHA YCs came out in 1969 with the YC10, and then in 1970 they brought out the YC20 and the YC30. Then in 1972 the YC25D and the YC45D. Now this also emulates other famous organs from other manufacturers via this wave button, and you have a little selector and you can have H, V, F, A and Y. The Y is for Yamaha. They don't exactly tell you what the other ones are. The H, famous tone wheel organ made in America beginning with H. I don't know, maybe I'll have to Google that one. But anyway, let's have a closer look, shall we? The H, okay, obviously that's Hammond, isn't it? Unfortunately, Hammond went out of business in 1985, and the brand and the rights were acquired by Hammond Organ Australia in 1986, and then they were purchased by Suzuki Musical Instrument Corporation in 1989, and they rebranded the company as Hammond Suzuki, although production still partially remains in the USA, which is a good thing. Now, the V is supposedly modelled on a 60s, 70s English transistor organ. Maybe that's the Vox. The F is an Italian transistor organ, I would say Farfisa. The A is a Japanese transistor organ. But what does the A stand for? Maybe someone could tell me in the comments below. And the Y is the Yamaha for the Yamaha YC. Now, the thing I do like about this is its battery. It's portable. It even has a couple of tiny little speakers in there, which surprisingly sounds pretty good. And the little tiny keys are not really a major problem. I can get my fingers between the keys without too much effort. It's got rotary speed on it. Etc, etc. It's got all the 9 drawbars, vibrato, chorus, percussion, effects, and it's solidly built. You can't twist it. It feels really sort of good for its size, surprisingly good actually. Now, on the back you've got full-size jacks and things, but the MIDI, now that is a tiny little converter. It looks like a PS2 type connector from the old computer days when you used to have that on the back of a mouse and your keyboard, and this cable comes with it and it's got full-size MIDI, so that's like your little converter to plug into the real world of MIDI. Now, one thing confuses me is that sort of could have been put on the back there. You could have had full-size MIDIs, surely. I mean, I'm not too sure. I don't know what's going off under here yet. I'm building up to my excuse to open it up. But why didn't they put full-size MIDI sockets on the back? Is there something to, get in the way maybe? There's only one way to find out. Let's open it up. Here's a look at the little speakers. Now these are only 3 centimeters, 30 millimeters, and there's a sort of a wave guide here, an audio wave guide, and underneath this part there's a slot cut out underneath, so the sound from the rear of the speaker comes out on the rear of the Yamaha Reface, and they're surprisingly loud for such tiny little speakers. Now the first thing on the circuit board I see from left to right is the ARM Fm3 chip. This is likely a 32-bit general purpose MCU, and these are based on the ARM Cortex M3 CPUs. Now this, judging by where it is, I mean, it's connected to the board along the top that's got all the controls and sliders and everything on it. Now these can be used for capacitive touchscreens, buttons, sliders, scroll wheels, XY pads, all sorts of control input and output. And they've also got something called Connect USB, which is a solution to generate USB ready template projects for USB devices and hosts. I'm not sure if this is connected directly to the USB socket on the back of this Reface. Without getting underneath and having a look at the tracks, I can't really tell. But the trouble is this board has probably got multi-layers in it anyway. So, but yeah, I'm guessing that's there for all the control data stuff that's going on in there. Now, there's a metal plate here, and this looks like it's soldered down. I mean, I can see chips underneath there, but I can't lift that up because it's soldered down to the board, and I don't really want to disturb it if I can help it. This isn't mine, it doesn't belong to me. A friend has kindly loaned it me to have a play around inside. Now, moving along, the next chips are these two WinBond chips. And that's a W9812G6J86. That's a DRAM chip. I think it's 128 megabit DRAM chip. And this one's different. This is an SDRAM. That's synchronous dynamic random access memory. So yeah, two different types of chips to read from there, but both memory chips. And a little bit further here, I've just got to make sure it's in the camera. I can't see what the camera's looking at. So we've got an AKM chip. Now AKM is Sahi Kasai Micro Devices. Yeah, sure it is. And that's a AK4396VF. So that's a 192K 24-bit DAC, stereo DAC, that one is. And then this one down here, that's a PCM1803. And that's a stereo ADC, analog to digital converter. Anyway, so there you go. So that one's the digital to analog converter, and that one's the analog to digital converter. Bearing in mind, this has got a line input as well, so it can mix audio coming in with the audio that it makes up. So that's probably why that bit's there. Not too sure. But going back to the MIDI connector, I can see now why they're using this tiny little sort of connector here. There's sort of PS2 type connector, because physically there just wouldn't be the space for full-size MIDI connectors on the back of that, unless they started chopping away at the board here and moving some of these components around. So yeah, okay, fair enough. I suppose that's okay. Use one of those little connectors. I just thought it was a bit of an afterthought, seeing that lead that came with it. You know, I thought, well, yeah, it's a bit messy hanging that out of the back, but it works. This is your power input, etc., and there's your left and right output and your headphone output. Nothing too fanciful on there. And along the top, this is for all your sliders and controls. Now this is the switch gear under the top panel. There's 30 screws to get this off. I can't believe it. Must be a headache to put all this together in the factory. Anyway, turn it over. So there's all your little sliders and your control. I do like the little clicks. They feel quite positive, they do. It's a nice touch. Feels quite good quality, they do. Now these are your LED light guides, if you wish to call them. There's 5 LEDs under there and 4 underneath that one. And these seem to be blanks. I don't know why they bothered with those. Maybe it's to keep it all at the right height. I'm not too sure. But yeah, there's nothing sort of exciting to see on there apart from lots of little slidey switches. Here's some toggle switches there. They're very nice steel case toggle switches. Good bit of quality. And looking at the back, there's only one microchip. Now that's a 54LV4052A. Now that's a dual 4-channel analog multiplexer demultiplexer, and this handles analog and digital signals and sort of transmits them in either direction. But yeah, last thing hanging on the end here is your rotary speed controller. That's a really nice switch, that is. It feels like it's come out of a good quality aircraft remote control or something. Now underneath the keyboard, you'll see it's a velocity sensitive keyboard. Now these little rubber plungers here, that's sort of what's pressed down when you press the key. And there's a little carbon dot underneath there, and that sits between 2 contacts on the board, and that's how it knows which key you've pressed. However, one of these little carbon dots is closer to the board than the other one is, only by a fraction. But when you press down the key, the time it takes from that one to connect and then that one to connect is how it works out the velocity or the speed in which you press the key. Well, it's been a pleasure looking inside this little keyboard from Yamaha, their Refacers, and really nice quality actually for the price of them. Like I say, there's 4 of these, the different types available. Now, I did say earlier in the video, what was the manufacturer of the letter A? And that was just a little trick question. Actually, it's still Yamaha. What that means is that was emulating the Yamaha A3, which was a very early famous organ from Yamaha. Now, if you like the video, please give us a thumbs up, because that does help with the searches. And if you want to become a patron, just click here. And if you'd like to subscribe, just click here. And I'll find something else to take apart soon. All the best. Thanks for watching.